There are a lot of Corsairs out on the ground by the time he got his first Mutas out. Now some wings streaming in, but not enough to do any real damage. A lot of stuff in Jangbi's secondary. We'll see. Maybe it is going to be able to do some damage, forcing those probes back anyway. Meanwhile, Jangbi has 3 zealots inside of 815's main, but they're going to be chased back easily. So 815 may actually come out of this a little bit ahead. I don't know. What do you think, GrimReaver? Who do you think this is going to favor?
Yeah, he managed to preserve most of his Mutalisks. He's doing a good job of kind of harassing then running away.
Yeah, I mean, Jangbi's getting some damage in here, but I'm not sure. I don't think it's as much damage as 815 got in. At the same time, 815's a little bit behind on his macro. I think he still only has the 3 hatchery. No, okay, he's got a 4th and a 5th hatchery going down. So with that evolution chamber, he may now be transitioning into Hydralisks. And Jangbi hopefully will make some corresponding tech switch. If he gets Reavers out quickly, or if he gets High Templar with Storm, he'll be able to hold off this Hydra push, if it does come. And we'll see whether Jangbi tries to push out and take a 3rd base too. If he takes a 3rd base in this situation, he'll be very firmly in the lead. But it might be difficult to hold it if there is going to be a big force of Hydras pressing out across the map soon.
Do you still think we're going to see some Reaver harass later on in the game?
Well, we see the first Reaver out under that shuttle, and I'm not sure. I mean, I think Jangbi's probably going to try to build up his Corsair count a little bit more. You can see the number of Scourge that are out there, so he doesn't want to be careless with that shuttle. Oh, and now all the Scourge coming in. Wow, tons and tons of Scourge, probably close to 2 control groups of Scourge. So my guess is he'll wait until he has a few more Corsairs, and he'll also wait until he has shuttle speed. DT out, though, and DT loading into the shuttle. We can see 815's already prepared a defense. Oh, and he's got lots and lots of air units, so I'm not sure. I don't know, do you think Jangbi will be able to get anything done with this DT harass?
Maybe if he can get air superiority with the Corsairs, he'll be able to force the Overlords away. I don't know.
Yeah, well, that's... Oh, and now 815's entire Air Force is heading in. 815's Air Force is actually going to be out of position, and there are no defenses at that secondary. Sunken Colony going down now, but no Overlords there, so he's not prepared for this DT harass at all. But at the and Jangbi is totally bypassing. He's dropping the DT in the main. Meanwhile, we'll see what those Air Forces are doing. I think it looks on the minimap like... Oh yeah, 815's been oh, and dropping a Reaver too, so he had a Reaver and a DT inside that shuttle, taking down 2 drones. Very clever harass. Now he's taking down more drones in the main, and it looks like 815 hasn't even noticed. He's lost 5 drones now, 6 drones, maybe even 7 to 8. Just losing drones all over the place, and 815 is not noticing this. Just absolutely sloppy, inattentive play by 815. And I think 815 has just about lost himself the game in the course of about 10 seconds of not paying attention to any of his drones.
Finally he notices.
Yeah, and now he's going to pull, but he doesn't have anything. We saw Hyuk do the same thing when he had already won a game against, I forget who it was, I think it was Tester, in one of the individual leagues. The game was pretty much over, and just as he was finishing off Tester, he let Tester's single DT kill off 15 or 20 of his drones, but 815 should not be playing like Hyuk. No one should be playing like Hyuk. And this is a disaster. His lair might go down. And I don't know what 815 is going to do. He's only mining from 1 base. He may lose his lair. I don't think he will, because that Overlord's floating over there. I don't know. Do you think there's a path back here for 815?
He's quite a ways behind in the game. I mean, he'll last for a little bit longer, but I can't see him making a good comeback here. Yeah, and a 3rd base going down for Jangbi now, too. So Jangbi is making the right move and capping the economic advantage now. Well, 815 doesn't have forces to push out on the ground, and I think 815 will realize that he's in a bad position, and he'll try for one last push, and if that fails, he'll have to GG. Does pick off that Dark Templar, but no drone saturation at his main. That Spire's still sitting there, but that trick did not pay off. Oh, and he's trapped a drone, it looks like, behind his extractor, so that's just adding a little bit of insult to injury. And you can see on 815's face, he knows that he's in a lot of trouble here. Not even mining gas at 2 of his 3 bases, he just needs all the drones he can for minerals.
Overlord speed up. One possibility for 815 is to try to go for some sort of drop. If he could get a drop off in Jangbi's main and just devastate the main somehow with before Jangbi could get forces back, that might buy him some time. But I don't think he'll be able to do that, especially with those Corsairs patrolling and looking for Overlords. Zealot, meanwhile, looking for any extra bases. The Zealot is going to see the Spire. Well, what do you think? Any ideas what 815 is going to try, or is he just going to sit here until Jangbi finishes them off?
I think he needs some harassment. I mean, Jangbi's running out of 3 bases. He's just going to overpower him unless he's able to get on the offensive here.
Yeah, I agree, and it looks like 815's been just trying to reboot his economy and putting a lot of larvae into drones, but I don't think it'll be enough because Jangbi's expanding his economy too, and Jangbi, meanwhile, is now pushing out with the ground force, and I'm not sure that 815 has the forces on the ground to deal with this. He has maybe 2 control groups of Hydras.
We may see some of those Psy storms you were foreshadowing.
Yeah. If we see some Jangbi storms coming out, they will devastate those Hydras. Good little building block there for Jangbi, sort of closing off the top of that base, but it's just going down so quickly. Templar pulling back with 4 Templar there, and that's a lot of storms between 4 Templar. Oh, and 815 is going to mass up for a last desperation attack. Not a lot of forces there for Jangbi, so this might do some damage. Reavers being positioned there, and if those Reavers go down, that could be trouble for Jangbi, but he's got Zealots in place. No, one Reaver goes down, the other Reaver's forced to fall back, and it may go down. Shuttle goes down, taking down a lot of Hydras, but in the meantime, Jangbi is all up in... Jangbi's all up in 815's tertiary, and 815 realizes his attack isn't going to succeed, and he GG's. So, great game. Any post-game thoughts on where 815 went wrong, or how he screwed up to fall behind to Jangbi so badly?
I think if he had some early Zergling harassment, it might have put enough pressure on that he wouldn't have been able to develop the strategy he did. Yeah,
that's true. In PvZ, the Protoss just needs that first 6 to 8 minutes to really get their macro going and get all their tech up, and Jangbi had that time, and as a result, he was able to play the game he wanted to play, and played it very successfully. So Jangbi takes set 1, and he'll be playing set 2 against whoever KTF chooses to send out next. So I'll see you there, and this has been Hamilcar with TheGrimReaver. See you later.